Hello friends, welcome to English Shorthand class. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start. Election results and fallout. While the pandemic rages, what is perhaps of greater concern to the BJP leadership in Delhi is that the era of electoral invincibility that had existed since 2014 seems to be dissipating at this time. Predictably, from their point of view, the consequences of this could prove to be dire, and this possibly is the main priority for the party's high priests. It is difficult to believe that the BJP's leaders would take kindly to the trouncing that the party has received in West Bengal, despite putting everything into its campaign in that state, with the Prime Minister, the Home Minister, and the party president spending days campaigning in that state and allow Mamata Banerjee to enjoy the spoils of victory. The defeats in Kerala, where the party failed to win a single seat, and in Tamil Nadu, where it won a handful of seats, are perhaps less galling but would still hurt. Retaining power in Assam and a win in the Union Territory of Puducherry provide little comfort. One can only envisage what has greater priority for the BJP today, dealing with the pandemic or redesigning its strategy to win elections in the future. The defeat in West Bengal does convey a certain message, but it is uncertain whether the BJP, in its present frame of mind, would heed the message. It is more likely that the party may seek to reinforce the tactics it had employed, which had enabled it to raise its tally of seats from 3 to 77, now 75, in the belief that more rather than less would produce desired results. This would be a mistake. The history of Bengal is replete with instances where attempts to capture power, ignoring the ethos of Bengal, have hardly produced results and at best has led to a Pyrrhic victory. Bengal has not forgotten either the tactics adopted by the East India Company or the role of Mr. Jaffers, and hence suitably adjusting electoral tactics to prevailing winds are more likely to yield results. Consequently, it would be best if the BJP were to introspect on the reasons why it failed so conspicuously in West Bengal, despite having nursed a desire to capture power in that state since 2014. Otherwise, it would indeed be a sad day for democracy and India. A misreading. Polarizing politics, accentuating the communal divide, employing the idiom of Hindu majoritarianism, etc., are electoral tactics that could and have succeeded in certain states and in certain situations. It has often been observed that what might well succeed in certain states in the northern parts of the country may not be the recipe for states such as Bengal or many of the southern states. To cite a quotation, but could saxifrages or soldanals gemming a pasture in the high Alps thrive if planted in Egypt? The extent to which Delhi misread the Bengali mind in the recent election is a sad commentary on Delhi's understanding of Bengal and its politics. Even a fleeting acquaintance with Bengal's electorate would confirm that Bengal did not fit into any kind of political straitjacket. For decades now, its politics has revolved around underdevelopment and related aspects. Among other misjudgments made by the BJP on this occasion, which are best avoided in the future if it hopes to do better or capture power in Bengal, is to appreciate that Bengal's politics contain a mixture of cultural exclusivism, a certain eclecticism, and a belief in their superiority. A far more nuanced approach rather than muscular tactics are hence likely to produce positive results. Among other misjudgments best avoided in the future is that Bengal, in common with Kerala, give women an exalted status. The denigration of women leaders such as Mamata Banerjee hence created an adverse reaction and widened a chasm that existed already. There is unity in diversity. If the ruling dispensation in Delhi fails to heed the lessons that require to be learned from the handling of the novel coronavirus pandemic and the outcome of the elections in West Bengal, the country may have to pay a heavy price. Bengal is not India, but it is a microcosm of India in miniature. Dealing with the pandemic at one level and managing the shifting democratic scenario at another level will demand dexterity of a certain kind, which is not evident in the ruling dispensation so far. Image managing will certainly not be enough, nor for that matter exaggerated claims to having achieved success. Neither of them is a substitute for real progress. The handling of the pandemic nationwide and the resort to a blame game has already created a divide and damaged relations between the center and the states. The current bias in the exercise of power has to be eschewed, for the nation is truly mired in a serious crisis. Above all, if India is to be retrieved from what many believe is a perilous state of affairs, there are many miles to go in which the center and the states must decide to go hand in hand. The unity in diversity slogan must be adhered to in its true spirit if India is to survive and succeed.